In this video sequence, I would like to introduce you to the additional encoder functions and how they can be parameterized and visualized with the integrated web server. With our product family AFS AFM60 with Ethernet IP communication protocol, we have an integrated web server on board inside the encoders. The integrated web server at first is a very comfortable option to visualize the additional encoder functions. Secondly, it's also a quick and clearly arranged programming possibility of the additional encoder functions that is completely independent from the PLC or from the programming tool. The programming via the web server is possible completely in parallel to the use of the PLC or engineering tool. If you want to include both options, the web server and the PLC side, into one application, it is important that you have the so-called ladder routines embedded in your system. And these ladder routines are then responsible in order to synchronize the mapping of the configuration data, so that it does not matter if you do configure on the one or the other side. It's always mapped together and synchronized so that you have access from both sides, from web server and PLC. The visualization of this web server is possible on every HTTP capable device with an internet browser. So that means on every normal smartphone or laptop or tablet, you can connect into the web server and visualize the data of the encoder. And it's also very important and very interesting, by the use of this integrated web server, we are opening up an extra, a specific and parallel data path into superior IT systems that are outside of the normal PLC environment of the field network. So this is a very important step into Industry 4.0 direction to make the data of the encoder available in other applications. If we look now into the web server, I would also like to highlight that all the programmable functions that we are looking at are also, of course, representative for our other encoder families that are field bus based or have other Ethernet based communication interfaces. In those other cases, of course, the access and programming of these encoders is possible via our standard programming tools or via the engineering tools on the PLC side. And of course, depending on the surrounding, depending on the tool that you're using for the programming, some small variations of functionality are possible depending on the kind of interface and programming tool that you're using. But basically, all the programmable functions that we're looking into now, as mentioned, are also representative for the other programmable encoders.